Hey everybody. I decided that today would be a good day to do an application video to show you how easy it is to put Color Street real nail polish strips on. Just a couple of things that I've actually done ahead of time, just so you know, is I have already washed my hands using soap, and I pushed back my cuticles using a cuticle stick. This is just a wooden one that I happen to have from my stylus box. You can buy tons of these on Amazon for super cheap. I need to push back my cuticles because you want to make sure that you're not applying the strip to the cuticle, or you'll get some peel back of the strips. Today I decided to use this really pretty new purple color, violet color. It is actually called Fashion Progger, which is a cute little name. This is from the new spring collection, and I'm actually going to do this video in two parts. The first one I'm going to show is just putting the solids on to show you how to do that, and then in a little while I'm going to video a second one where I'm putting on an overlay just to add a little bit of interest to the solid. So all right, here we go. So, like I said, I've already washed my hands. You can see I've been washing them a ton. They're super dry right now. But I did wash them and made sure that all the oils are off of my hands. So I'm going to go ahead and open the strips up. There's a neat little tab here, and then I open it up. And in the package, see if I can do this here. In the package, you're going to have a nail file, and also a nail prep pad, and I'm going to show you what to do with that in just a second. And you're also going to have the actual nail strips. Okay, the nail strips come in a sealed thing with a little notch thing for you to open that keeps them from drying out on you. So first, I always get my tools ready. This one seems to be wrapped in some sort of plastic for some reason. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up so I don't chip a nail once I have put it on there. Fun new files. There's always a new file in here. I have like a million of these that end up in my purse. You never know when you're going to need a good nail file. So you have this, and you have your prep pad and your strips. So the first step is going to be to open the nail prep pad. And all it is just a little alcohol pad. And it's designed to take the oils, the remaining oils. Some people have a lot of oils. I learned that children especially have a lot of oils in their fingers. So if you end up trying this on a kid, make sure they wash their hands really well, and then use the oil, reduce the oil by using the alcohol prep pad. So I'm just going to do all the fingers real quickly. The way I'm going to show you how to apply the nail strips is the way that I sort of figured out how to do it. There's not just one way to do it, of course, but this particular way has worked pretty well for me. So what you notice is I took the prep pad and I actually put it back in the package and folded it over so it won't dry out. And the reason I do that is because I can actually use the prep pad at the end of my manicure to sort of set the polish and help it cure a little bit better. Okay, so you find the little notchy thing, it's a technical term, and you open up your strips and you pull them out. And there are 8 different strips on each little sheet. The reason they do that is because everybody's fingernails are different sizes. So I'm not going to obviously use all of these strips on my fingers. Some fit better than others. So the goal is to make sure that you get a strip that's going to cover your nail. You don't have to worry about if it's a little bit too big, because there's a way, I'll show you a way to kind of take care of the excess if you end up with extra. So, okay, so here we go. So what you're going to do, I like to just kind of, it turns out different every single time, but I just like to narrow. See, this one is too narrow for my finger. So normally I end up putting that one to the side and using it on Abigail most of the time. So I try the second strip for my pinky. So I can size it there and see that it's actually going to fit there. Okay, now the strip has different layers to it. There's a top layer that's just, it's a clear plastic sheet. That's just a protector. So you're going to pull that one off and put it to the side. Then you're going to stick your finger under the silver part here. And I like to pull it off. Just peel the strip. Sorry, out of camera range there. And then you just kind of gently pull that strip off. And I normally just stick it in the box. Okay. So then you have your strip. You line it up best you can. Good thing is they're pretty forgiving, so if you don't get it on there correctly the first time, you can give it a little wiggle. That one actually I got pretty well. I practice a lot of these, so I'm going to go ahead and push them down. Whoops. Like I said, they're fairly forgiving, which is really nice. Now what I like to do is try to use two fingernails, use one strip for two fingernails. So what I'm going to do now that I've pushed that down, push it down on the edges a little bit. Sorry how messy my cuticles are. I cut them back, but they're looking a little rough. So now I take my thumb. You're always going to start with your pinkies and work your way towards your thumb. Your thumb's going to be a tool here, and this works for me. So I stretch it just a little bit, and then I take my thumb and I press underneath my nail strip. And I kind of just do that all the way along the edge, and that ends up letting me pull it off. Okay? Now, there's some excess here, which I'm going to take care of in just a second. Because I have this other piece of the strip, I'm actually going to flip it over now to my other hand and put it on my other pinky. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. So I'm lining it up the best I can. Sometimes I have a harder time doing my right hand because I'm using my left hand to do it. Okay, and so there I have put it down. Now this strip is a little too wide for my finger, so it's going to be a good one for me to show you what to do. Okay, so like I said, trying to avoid the cuticles. If you get a little bit on the cuticles, you can just kind of, it's hard to see here. Let's see, you can kind of just push it under with your thumbnail. And I push it down. I'm committing to it now, so I have it where I want it, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to give it a little tug. And here's the other way you can do it if you want to. Give it a little tug, sort of pinch it in the center, and then you can run your fingernail underneath to cut the excess. Okay, now, not perfect at this point, and that's okay, because I'm going to fix it. All right. So when you have excess, you can see that on my cuticle there. See how that's sticking right there? I like to just take my thumb. You can do this with the orange stick too if you want. You can just sort of push it into your cuticle and peel away the excess. And I didn't do such a hot job with that one. I may end up having to go back and do that again. So I got a little too much off there. So you have to be careful. The solids are trickier for me. It's my first time actually trying to apply the solids. Okay, now as far as the excess here, I'm going to sort of push it underneath my nail. And this is where the file comes in handy. Just take the file and just doing a downward motion in one direction. Just sort of push a little bit and the excess comes off. So there you have it. Okay, I got to go back over to this one now. So I have an easier time doing it on this side. So what I find is if you push it down from this direction, you can actually get the excess polish off a little bit easier. Okay, so I have a little extra polish there. Just file it down a little, sorry, a little blurry. And peel the excess off. Okay, so there we go. That's really pretty. Sorry about the dry cuticles. So much hand washing right now with coronavirus. Okay, all right, so then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna find the next one that fits. That one's pretty good. So I'm gonna stick with that one. And you just repeat. Okay, so remember, clear sheet. Peel off the clear sheet. Put it to the side. Peel off the silver strip. Oh, sorry, blurry. Silver strip. Detach that. Stick it down. Sometimes they get stuck to you. Get it down there. Where you want it to be. Okay, now in that case, I didn't get it right where I wanted to do. So if I haven't committed by pushing it down yet, I can actually lift it and reposition it. So you're lining it up. See, I don't like how that one looks. You see how I didn't get close enough to the cuticle? I'm just going to pull it up. Try one more time. Okay, so there we have it. Pushing that down. I committed to it now. Remember, I'm going to push it down a little bit, give it a little tug. Use my thumbnail as my tool. Push it down on the edges, and that's so pretty. Feel very springy. And now I'm going to go to the other side, same thing. All right, making sure not to cover the cuticle. If you do, you can do a little bit of pushing. Remember, you can give it a little tug at the end. Use your thumb and cut off the excess. All right, looking pretty good. Now I can do this, use one strip for two because my nails are shorter. You may not find that that's the case for you if your nails are super long. Okay, now this one's actually probably pretty good. So I'm sizing it up again. Taking the strip. Peel off the silver. A little extra there. Pull that off. There we go. Stick it down. Happy with that. Gonna commit to it. Push it all the way down. Smooth it out. Give it a little tug. Like I said, there's more than one way to do this. Whoops, getting blurry again. Sorry about that. This is the way that just works for me. Normally I use the extra that I have to do Abigail's nails. Because she oftentimes, it's kind of become a thing where we have matchy nails. She likes it. She already asked me if after this video I would go ahead and do hers. Okay, now see, I didn't stick that down on that edge, so I'm going to try to pull it up. Good. Try to recenter it. And you can lift it a couple of times normally and it still is okay. There we go, that's better. And every nail is different. And one thing I've noticed about my nails are pretty short now, but I think it was last August, right before my anniversary, I went and had my nails done at the salon. And I was convinced that I should try some gel nails. Well, let me tell you what. Worst decision I've ever made. Ended up having the hardest time getting the gel nails off. It's looking pretty good. Gel nails off, so, and it ended up making my nails just peel and peel and peel for the longest time. They're just now growing out. I can still see little edges of it from back in August. My nails don't grow especially fast. But I have found that as I've been wearing the Color Street, that my nails are starting to grow. They're stronger than they were before because I'm actually putting some protectant on it, because I didn't always wear polish before unless I went to the salon. But so easy to put these on yourself. Not too worried about getting to the salon, especially right now. Can't get in the salon because they're all closed, non-essential right now. And for the cost of what it costs to go to the salon versus what I can do and get 3 or 4 sets for the same cost, it's a pretty amazing deal that Color Street has. Okay, so look at that. That ended up having a lot of excess there. And actually I need to push this down into my cuticle a little bit, under my cuticle a little bit with my thumb. Okay, I'm gonna come back to that one just a second. Come over here and do this one. Hands are getting shaky. Okay, there we are. Okay. So the same thing's gonna happen on this one. That's a little bit too wide, but like I showed you before, all right, give it a little tug, stick your thumb under there. Oh dear. Well, see, now that happens sometimes. That's actually good to show you. So what happened there is I tore it. So I'm actually gonna just, because they haven't set yet, I'm gonna actually peel them off. They don't normally peel off this well, this easily. Not the best plan to do, but it works nonetheless. Okay, so I gotta go and get a different strip. And that's okay. Sometimes that happens. So that strip will still work. Let's try it again. Okay. So this one I'll show you, since I'm gonna only use half the strip, I'll show you the other way that you can do this. Okay, let's try again, shall we? Okay, so push that under there. And of course, it's taking me a lot longer to do this than normal because I'm trying to do it while I'm showing you all the steps. Okay, so you can pinch it off like that, give it a tug, and then carefully this time, push it in under the nail. Okay. And there's still a little excess there, so I'm going to just peel it right off. Perfect. Okay, now normally when I do this on my own, I do it about 10 minutes. Because I'm doing it for you, it's taking a little bit longer. And I'm talking a lot. Okay. So I got to come back to this one here. All right, like I told you, there's that excess there, so I'm just going to push it under and peel it off. And there we go. All right, now the thumbs. The thumbs always, I'm finding that I now have to use 2 strips for. And normally, let's see, this one's way too wide. But sometimes I do use it and I just push it off. It just depends on what you want to do. I'm gonna actually use the wide one. Let's use the wide one and I'll show you what I do. Okay. So now when your strip is too wide, I like to just put it to one side, line it up on one side of my nail. So I'm going to pick this side because it's always easier for me to push on the other side. Okay, so you line it up best that you can. Then you're going to end up with this excess over here. See all that? I don't want that. So I'm going to push it down. And And I like to, like I said, sort of push it into my cuticle bed with my thumbnail. You can see why I used my thumbs last, right? Did my thumbs last? Okay. So give that a good. And my thumbnails are too long for me to use it. So I always end up using 2 strips for my thumbs now that they're longer. Okay. So there we go. Cool. And then just sort of push it under your cuticle, push it into the bed there. Get the excess off on the edge. I'm not doing the most perfect job, but it's looks pretty nice. Using my new light on my camera. And see, that one even, not super happy with how it's looking, so I'm gonna go back and clean it up a little bit. Okay, all right, so one more thumb. So, because I used the widest one, I'm gonna come back over here to the other strip of these, and I'm gonna pull this one off because it won't work for Abigail. It's obviously too wide. You can also use these on your toes, I guess. My toenails are pretty wide, pretty tall, have pretty big feet. All right, so peel it off. So I've never tried it on my toes, but I see a lot of stylists doing that. You can have a matching pedicure and manicure, which is super cool. All right, so again, this is gonna be too wide. So I'm gonna put it into the corner of my nail. I don't like how that lined up, so I'm gonna peel it back off and try again. Okay, here we go. Whoops. All right, trying to push it down. Try not to let it buckle, because I understand that that's a tricky part when it comes to solids. So just pushing a little bit of excess off. Pull. They're really forgiving strips, which is nice. And like you saw me mess up, it's not the end of the world. You just can fix it either with nail polish remover, which of course these just come off with nail polish remover. Okay, so I'm just going to peel that excess off, so it's not on my cuticle. If you leave it on your cuticle, it'll actually pull up and then totally ruin your manicure. Okay, there you go. It's a little messy, but that's what it looks like. Still not happy with that one. I'm going to file it down a little bit. Get the excess off. There we go. Notice I'm filing in one direction when I do that too, right? Okay. All right, so that's how it turned out. Move all this stuff out of the way. It's pretty. I like it. Again, Fashion Prager from the new spring line. It looks a little blue in my light in here, but it's actually a fairly pretty lilac color. Okay, so like I said, that's how I do it. That works for me. I use the excess strips for Abigail's nails, and then we're good to go. Because once you open the package, the company doesn't guarantee them to last, because of course the air is going to dry out the strips. But I solved that by doing matching manicures with Abigail. So here we go. That's how it looks. And in my next video that I will post, I will show you how I put overlays on them to reinforce the polish so that it's going to be a little bit stronger and last a little longer on me, and also so that you can see how to go ahead and do that. But if you have any questions, just drop them below. Please like my Facebook VIP group, join it. It's Polished Up with Nikki. That's 1K in Nikki. And I hope to see you there. If you have any questions, just drop me a line, send me a private message, or drop me a comment, and I will get back to you. Thanks again. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.